Hey guys, just getting started today with that morning cars routine. Today we're going to do it from our standing position rather than being kneeling or lying on our side like we did with a lot of the movements the last couple videos. So just to show you guys a kind of different variation of some of these basic cars. As I talked about previously, these are used both to maintain the mobility and function that we already have in our joints, as well as to warm up to get ourselves ready for more intense mobility work. But another use of these is to kind of assess and gauge where our current mobility levels are at. So as we're going through these different movements, we're using this to kind of assess how well each of our joints move. This way it kind of helps us design the rest of our own mobility work. So if you want to kind of do mobility work every single day, it's good as you're going through these cars to see where you're at and what parts of your body need the most work. We obviously want to improve the stuff that needs improvement rather than just randomly kind of trying to stretch and improve range of motion in joints that may not need it or joints that may need it less than others. All right, so let's get started with our standing cars. So step back a little bit so you guys can see. Again, just going to start from the top down. Just start with my neck. Bring my chin to my chest. Scraping over that left collarbone. Going as far as I can to the left. Coming up to the ceiling. As big of a circle possible with my neck. Going to go 3 times to the left. Just moving through the neck. Trying not to lean back through our body as we do this. And switching directions. Same thing, other way. So all the way to the right, looking up, leaning our head back, big circle. Nice, slow, controlled. We got one more. Good, we're gonna move to our thoracic spine now, so the kind of upper part of our spine between the top of our shoulder blades and about the middle of our back. So all I'm going to do is give myself a big hug. I'm going to round as far as I can. When I'm bending here, I want to make sure this is just coming through the spine and I'm not letting my hips come back or tilt. So I'm not letting my hips drop and move to allow motion here. So big hug, rounding that back as much as I can. Let's start rotating to my left. That's when I can't move any further. I'm going to bend to the left, keeping those hips locked in. Circling all the way around to the right. Back down to the center. So from here, big rotation to the left, side bend. All the way around, nice big circle. Same thing, other direction. Try to avoid that movement through your hips as much as we can. One more. Good. Kind of moving outwards, going to our shoulder blades or scapula. So we're going to go one arm at a time today. I'm going to change the angle on this slightly. So I'm going to raise my arm directly out in front, elbows locked out. Start by bringing that shoulder up, protracting forward, down, and back. So try to make as big of a circle as we can. So shoulders coming forward, down, back, up. Good, we're going to switch directions. Come up, back, down, forward. And other side, so arms straight out in front. Let that shoulder round forward. So, up, forward, down, back. Up, forward, down, back. Just trying to move through that shoulder blade, making as big of a circle as we can. Good, other direction. Up, back, down, forward. Good. Now we're going into the actual ball and socket joint of our shoulder here. So, start with my palm facing in towards me. Start facing the camera. So palm's facing in towards me. I'm reaching as high as I can, so flexing that arm up as high as I can till it won't move anymore. From there, rotating my palm out. I know you can't see my hand, but my palm's now facing away from me. Coming back as big of a circle as I can without leaning or twisting. Big circle. Palm faces outside at the back. Lifting back up. Again, as high as I can till I hit that roadblock. Once I can't move any further, I'm going to rotate big circle as I can. I'm going to go 2 more on that side. Getting as much range of motion as we can, making the biggest circle possible without compensating. Good, going to the other shoulder. As high as we can, rotate out. I've got much less range in this one. You'll probably notice a difference. Again, like we were talking about those assessments at the beginning, we want to make sure we're focusing and thinking about what we feel as we do these. If you notice one shoulder's tighter than the other, you know that one needs a little bit more work. So we're here. Don't let the elbow bend like I just did. Coming back up. Big range. And one more. Good. Moving down to our elbows. Start elbows at our side. Palm, hands supinated, so palms facing up towards me. Curling those arms up as high as I can. From here, I'm pronating my hands, so facing my hands towards the camera, trying to roll those thumbs down to the floor. From there, I'm extending. Same thing, trying to lift with my palms up now. Lift those pinkies as high as I can. Coming up, rotating down. And one more this way. Going to repeat the same thing now, starting with palms down. So I'm trying to supinate those hands, or pronate those hands as much as possible, rather. So I'm trying to rotate. So my thumbs are going down, pinkies are coming up. Here, flexing as far as I can. Big rotation, and down. Back to that pronated position, so palms are facing behind me. As big rotation as we can, really trying to hold that rotation as we extend. One more. Rotating in as far as we can. Good. Supinating, holding that rotation, and down. Last one, going to the wrists, going one at a time here. Big flexion, come to the side. Drawing as big of a circle as we can. With that wrist, this time we're trying not to let our fingers bend. Good, switch directions. Good. Nice and slow. Don't speed up like I just did on that first side. Good. Okay, guys, so now we're moving down to that lower body, starting to work with our hips. Doing these hip cars standing could challenge our balance a little bit. So if your balance isn't that good, find something to hold on to, whether, it's a wall, countertop, table. I'll just use my foam roller here. If you can do it without holding on, that's great. That's going to definitely challenge our balance a little bit. So if you can do it and the balance isn't messing you up so you can't do the movement properly, try it without holding on. But if you need something to hold on to help yourself balance, no worries. So the idea here, again, bringing our hip through the biggest range of motion possible without compensating by moving through the other hip. So my movement here is going to be, I'll use this so I don't cheat, but coming up as far as I can, out as far as I can. Once I'm here, raising that foot to the ceiling, trying to keep the knee at the same height, rotating, coming behind. Once I'm behind, raising that up as far as I can, coming back, reversing that motion. So heels coming up, knee is rotating out to the side, hips open, and back to the front. All right, so we're going to do that 3 times each direction, each side. So here, really lock everything in so we're not bending at the waist, so we're not compensating by leaning through that other hip. Nice, slow, and controlled through the parts that are especially tough, guys. Try not to rush through the parts that are uncomfortable. Last one, we're going to switch sides. Same thing, other leg. So here, stand on solid ground. Bring that knee up as high as I can, out as far as I can. Raising that heel without letting the back arch. So, if the standing version of those is too much, you can always go back to doing them on your hands and knees in that quadruped position or lying on your side, whatever's most comfortable for you, just giving you guys some different options. All right, so I'm going to skip over the knees for right now, just going down, warming those ankles up a little bit. So pulling everything up, so I'm just moving through my ankles. Again, I'm going to start off going clockwise with my foot, tracing the clock. So big flexion, coming all the way down. Making as big of a circle. Just using that ankle as I can. Switch directions. Good. Try not to cheat by using that shin. Good. Same thing, other ankle. As you can see, my dorsiflexion is pretty bad, so I know that's something I need to work on. Good, other direction. Good, so that's our basic morning cars routine. Again, just another different way to do this. Again, hopefully when you're doing that, you were focusing on how each of those joints felt, so you kind of know what needs the most work. That being said, again, you should be doing this every day to maintain your mobility, but especially before we get started with the more intense, kind of heavy-duty mobility expansion exercises. So we'll be getting into that next, but I'll keep that for a separate video. Thanks.